Hello Commanders, welcome back to the command table. I am Mathramar and we're going to be going through the last 5 battles of the Eldritch Mountains, battles 326 through 330. If you like what you see here, please do like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Alright, let's get right into it. Battle 326. Alright, for this one, I just wanted to show a few different things that can be done. These Draining Spirits, you don't even have to have them tagged on to your own units. You can actually have them jump right over to units on the other side of the map so long as they have contact with something. So I went ahead and just put these 2 Draining Spirits to where they'll latch onto those Righteous Defenders. Then I've got my Assassins in the back to take care of this Valkyrie. And then the Thorn Guards there, they're to catch these 2 groups of Assassins, the ones that's going to spawn here and the other one down here. The closest unit that they're going to be able to see are those Thorn Guards, so all of those Assassins are just going to converge there. The Thorn Guards will keep moving forward and then they'll contribute in other ways. But we're again going to use our Monster Hunter to kind of show some of its functionality. And again, you don't have to have a super high level one. The Valkyrie does most of the heavy lifting for the Monster Hunter. So when the Monster Hunter gets higher level, that'll be fantastic, but for now, our Valkyrie will be able to do most of the work. These 3 groups of archers, whatever's left of them, because the assassins will work through these, but at least these 2 groups of archers up here are going to be shooting at that Monster Hunter because it's going to be the closest target, and it's going to just nullify all that damage because it just completely nullifies any range damage. So then it's just going to wait for all these other units to converge on the Monster Hunter. The Draining Spirits will follow them along, and the Monster Hunter will just keep everything at arm's length while the Valkyrie and the Druid just hang back there and keep everybody happy. Okay, so here goes. Draining Spirits doing their job. Thorn Guards doing their job. Monster Hunter not taking any damage from the archers and very easily clearing through everything else. The Druid gives the Monster Hunter an occasional buff to, I think it does like reduce damage and maybe some other increases and buffs here and there. We'll have to get the actual list of things that the Druid buff does to show how that functions. Alright, let's move on to 327. Okay, here we have a Jormag replica. We've got a Brute, a bunch of Righteous Defenders, some Faceless Knights, a Stormcaller, and a Valkyrie. So what we're going to do with this one, we're going to utilize our Monster Hunter. And if you don't have a Monster Hunter, you maybe, even for all of the ones that I've been using the Monster Hunter on, you could probably just switch it out for a Brute. It's not going to make that big of a difference. But I did kind of want to show what could be done. Now, the Stormcaller, if it does live long enough to get a shot off, it should be far enough away from the Valkyrie to where it won't chain. And that's why I put the Valkyrie so far back. If you do end up having trouble with that, just move the Valkyrie back a smidge, and you should be fine. The Assassins are going to take out the Faceless Knights and the Stormcaller and then the Valkyrie. Everything else is just going to converge on the Monster Hunter, and it's just going to grind through it. I've got one Bombot here to clear out this group of Righteous Defenders, because that's going to clear a path for these other 2 bombs to make it all the way in to that Jormag boss thing. So I think this Bombot doesn't make it, but that's the reason the other Bombot's down there. Let's go ahead and let it run. Okay, there goes Stormcaller, Valkyrie, Faceless Knights going down very quickly. Okay, the second Bombot in that top chain managed to hit the Jormag and didn't quite take it out. That's why I was hoping the first Bombot would get there, but the other assassin was able to tag the boss and take it down. So yeah, now it's just a matter of letting it grind through. You'll see the various buffs or debuffs that the Monster Hunter applies between freeze, stun, and burn. Alright, moving on, let's do 328. Okay, for this one, there's a Cannoneer, a Soul Pylon, an Earth Elemental, a Brute, about 5 groups of Warhounds, and 3 sets of Righteous Defenders. So what I did is I've got these assassins to where they'll gravitate to this Cannoneer from behind. So they just kind of spawn right here. They start working on him while everything else gets out of the way and runs forward away from this Soul Pylon. So that takes it to where every single body that could feed that Soul Pylon is going to leave the area and come over to here to where it's going to run into my Monster Hunter. Then once the assassins have almost killed that Cannoneer, they're going to be just in range of this Soul Pylon to quickly take it down before it starts. Even if it does get a shot off, it's only going to be one shot. Hopefully it doesn't, because if it does hit something important, that might ruin the whole thing. So you might have to run this a couple times, or switch out the Arcane Archer for a set of actual archers. You just have to reconfigure things a little bit because you have to make sure the Monster Hunter is the closest thing to that Valkyrie. So it may just be easier to spin it again and hope that the Soul Pylon gets taken down first before it gets the shot off. These entangling roots, they are there to catch all of these warhounds as they start coming up. The Monster Hunter is going to run forward and all the warhounds are going to come through there. Since he's only level 3, he can't handle too many of them all at once. So that's going to kind of slow down the rate at which they approach him and allow him to get some hits off and the Valkyrie time to keep him topped off. So that's the theory. Also, we've got the Ember Fiend there to do percentage-based damage because there's some high health units with the Brute in there. The Righteous Defenders are a bit of a nuisance, so the burn will help with that. And the Draining Spirit is there to, well, it's going to take care of all these small units, but also once this Earth Elemental splits, the Draining Spirit's going to help with that because the Ember Fiend won't do much since the Earth Elemental's immune to fire, or burn, sorry. Okay, so watch those assassins. There they go, working on that Cannoneer, and then right before he dies, they start chipping away at that Soul Pylon to where it dies. So you may have to adjust your placement, may have to run it a couple of times, but you can have that Soul Pylon go down before there's any bodies in its range. Okay, now Brute's gone. I'm going to move ahead to that Earth Elemental. Once it pops, it'll go down a lot faster because everything will get into the range of that Draining Spirit. Did my Draining Spirit disappear? It did. Why did my Draining Spirit disappear? That's weird. Not that it's that big of a deal. Okay, 329. Alright, for this one we have 2 Barrier Monks, 2 Arcane Archers, 2 Druids, a Paladin, a set of Eternal Champions, and 2 Arcane Blades. So we're just going to eliminate those Eternal Champions right off the bat, send that bomb bot right after them, and poof, they'll be gone. Then everything else is going to run up into these Thorn Guards. The Assassins are going to clear out the Arcane Archers, the Druids, and eventually get to the Barrier Monks. I think there's going to be 1 Barrier Monk at the end that ends up way up here. But there's going to be a fair amount of bodies that end up in this vicinity, so we figured, hey, why not just toss the Soul Pylon in there, and it'll maybe nuke the Paladin or something. But honestly, you might do better off just putting in an Ember Fiend or another couple of Crystal Spires or something. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Again, Valkyrie, the closest thing is the Thorn Guards. If you put in an Ember Fiend, you'll need to put it further away than the Thorn Guards so that the Valkyrie attaches to the Thorn Guards. Okay, Bombot about to blow up the Eternal Champions. Assassins taking out the Arcane Archers and 1 of the Barrier Monks. And then everything else grinds away on the Thorn Guards, and the Soul Pylon gets off 1 or 2 shots. So yeah, Soul Pylon maybe not the best choice. Oh, excuse me. Alright, let's do battle 330, and then we'll be done with this zone. Elven Protector. Okay, we've got a Lesher clone. We've got 3 sets of Hammer Throwers and 2 sets of Archers. So here, what I've decided to do, we're again going to use our Monster Hunter. It's completely immune to anything that these ranged units can do. So the archers and the hammer throwers, they're just going to be unloading on that monster hunter, and it's not hardly going to matter. If he does get stunned by a crow, that might cause a problem, but as you'll see, it's fairly solid. There's not too much to worry about. We've got the battle drummer there to mitigate any damage that the lesser clone or the crows do, and it reduces the duration of the stun. The Valkyrie, the closest unit, is the monster hunter. The archers are far enough back to where they won't be linked. They run forward and allow the bodies to be within range of the soul pylon. You'll notice this kind of discolored circle. So if the crows do kill an archer, it just becomes fuel for the soul pylon to shoot other stuff. If the crows die to either the archers or the crystal spire, they become fuel for the soul pylon to shoot. So that's the theory behind this one. Let's go ahead and let it run. Okay, everything's just firing at that monster hunter and not hardly doing a thing. You'll notice the soul pylon starting to unload every time some crows die in the vicinity. Starts to shoot some of those ranged units and clear them out. The crystal spire does get tagged every so often because I don't have that many bodies. You could, if you wanted to, maybe put some more ranged units in there instead of the soul pylon. Maybe an Ember Fiend, that might help to clear through some of the hammer throwers faster. But again, pretty solid. Didn't have to worry too much about anything. Just a few tweaks you could make if you really wanted to, but otherwise we're golden. Okay, we'll be moving on to the Divine Sanctuary next. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe, and check out thecommandtable.com where we have tutorials, raid strats, and in the near future we'll have some merchandise and a comic strip. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the Divine Sanctuary.